welcome to English Composition. I'm Michael Chang. I'm with Cher Chen today.
各位同学，大家好，欢迎来到英文作文课程。我是 Cher， 在我身边的是郑老师。
And today in Unit 14, we are going to introduce the comparison contrast paper to you. And you'll learn two methods for organizing a comparison contrast paper.
好，在今天这个单元呢，我们将会为各位同学介绍另外一种不一样的一个短文写作的类型哦。它的名称呢叫做对比论说文哦。你会学到怎么样去架构两种不一样类型的对比论说文。
All right, let's begin our lesson by going to our writing focus section.
好，我们首先呢，先从我们的写作重点作为今天的开始。
Right, now your main goal for writing a comparison contrast paper is to show the similarities and differences between two subjects. And there are two ways to organize a comparison contrast paper, and these are the block method and the point-by-point method.
好，那在架构这个对比论说文的时候呢，各位同学写作的目标哦，其实就是比较两样东西的相似以及相异的地方。有两种架构对比论说文的方式，分别是各位同学在荧幕上看到的所谓整体性的比较，这个 block method， 还有所谓的 point by point method， 也就是点对点的比较。
And on your screen, you can see two pictures to illustrate these two methods.
好，现在各位同学在荧幕上看到，也就是把这两个不一样的写作方式呢，用图示的方式表达出来。
And so in the block method, we have two big blocks to indicate how we're going to divide up our topic.
好，从这个整体性的比较上面呢，你可以看到我们看到两个大大的方块哦，这两个大方块呢，也就是这个 block method 整体性的意思。
At first, we say everything about one subject in a single paragraph. And then we say everything about our second subject in the next paragraph.
好，在整体性的这种比较方式里面呢，我们会先针对一样东西哦，那在一个单独的段落里面先去做一个叙述，接下来在另外一个段落里头去叙述另外一样东西。
Right. For example, let's say that we want to compare two types of cars, a Toyota and a Nissan, for example.
好，我们现在用两台车的品牌哦来做一个比较。各位同学应该认得这两种品牌，一个是 Toyota， 另外一个呢是 Nissan， 是两种不一样的车子的品牌。
And you write all your thoughts about the Toyota in one block, and then you put all your thoughts about the Nissan in the next block.
好，那如果我们使用整体性的比较方式的话呢，也就是说你会花一整个段落去描述 Toyota 这台车，那接下来你花另外一个完整的段落去描述 Nissan 这台车。
Now let's take a look at a picture for the point-by-point method. And we see here that it shows many small arrows.
好，那如果我们现在来看看另外一个写作方式的话呢，我们看到这点对点的写作方式就长得不太一样了，它有非常多的这个小箭头出现在荧幕上。
And this means that each paragraph of the essay will focus on a smaller issue.
好，那每一个箭头呢，就代表的每一个点啊，每一个点呢，则是专注在讲某一个的特殊的议题。
And first, you'll write about how your two subjects are related on one single point of your topic.
好，简单来说呢，你会一开始先针对一个特定的议题呢，来阐述这两样东西哦，他们针对这个议题各有什么样的不一样的地方。
And then you'll start a new paragraph to tell how your subjects are related to the next point until you've covered all the points of your essay.
好，那接下来呢，你会在接下来下一个段落去讲述一样另外一个主题，那同样的呢，来比较两样东西之间针对这个主题的一些相关性。那一直到接下来我们做第3点、第4点每一个主题呢，你都去比较两个物品的相关性。
And so, for example, your first paragraph can talk about how in the first paragraph you can compare the quality of a Toyota car versus the quality of a Nissan car.
好，我们举例来讲，假设我们第一个特点呢，我们要讨论的是它的品质哦。那我们可以花第一整个段落呢，来讨论 Toyota 这台车它的品质，以及 Nissan 这台车它的品质。
And your second point, you can talk about how innovative Toyotas are in comparison to Nissans.
好，那第二个部分呢，也许我们要讨论的是它是否具有一些创新的一些设计哦。那你第二个整个段落呢，你可能都花在讨论 Toyota 的创新以及 Nissan 的创新。
And your third point, you can compare the comfort of each car.
好，那第3点，也许你要讨论的是舒适性哦。那一样，第3段你就讨论这两台车它的舒适性各自是如何的。
And in your fourth point, you can compare the price of each of these two kinds of cars.
最后一个你可以讨论的一个议题呢，可能是它的价格哦。那你讨论这2台车它的价格各自是怎么样的呢？
And now let's go on and take a look at 2 methods for comparing or for organizing a comparison contrast paper in more depth.
好，那接下来呢，我们再更深入的去了解一下这2种不一样的架构方式各自要怎么样去写作。
All right, so now let's start talking about the block method.
好，我们先从整体性的比较作为开始。
In the block method, you divide the body of your paper into 2 paragraphs.
好，那在这个整体性比较的架构里面呢，很简单，你先把你的主体段落呢分成2个主要的段落。
And you take all the ideas you have about your first subject and you put them into the first body paragraph. And then you put your ideas about your second subject into the second body paragraph.
好，那就像我们刚刚跟各位同学提到的概念一样哦，你先把你对其中一件物品的所有的看法呢，都放在一个主体段落里面，那再把你对另外一样物品所有的看法放在另外一个主体段落里头。
And you should organize both of your paragraphs in the same manner. And this means that you should go over the same topics in each of these 2 paragraphs.
好，那这2个段落呢，它的所有的主题写作方式应该要是一样的哦。那也就是说呢，当你在每一个段落里面去提到这2样东西的特色，在另外一个段落之中也应该要提到相同的特色。
Now, the advantage of the block method is that your readers can get all the information or get the complete picture about each of your subjects in 1 paragraph.
好，那这种写作方式有什么好处呢？哦，它的好处就是你的读者啊，可以很清楚的知道每一个你要去比较的物品，它有什么样的一些特色跟它的这个形象。
And the disadvantage of the block method is that your readers might forget all the details or all the points that you made about the first topic by the time they finish reading about the second topic.
哦，但是呢，同样这个方法也有缺点哦。它的缺点就是呢，当你的读者读到下一个段落的时候，他可能已经忘记上一个段落里面你提到的所有的这些特点了。
Right, so now let's take a look at some more ways to or how you should organize a block method comparison contrast paper.
好，现在已经了解了它的优缺点之后，接下来呢，我们再来讨论一下要怎么样把这个写作把整体性的对比方式呢变成一个写作的大纲的方式。
And the first thing that you should do is choose a strategy for your introductory paragraph. And so, for example, you can start your paper with some general statements about the topic.
好，那你首先呢，我们要先来讨论一下，怎么样在写作这个开头引言段落的时候，我们要选择什么样的一个策略哦。举例来讲，你可以使用这个以非常概括的方式来谈论你的主题。
And then finish the introductory paragraph with your thesis statement.
那接着呢，用表明主旨来结束你的开头引言段落。
And you can review Unit 4 for more information about writing introductory paragraphs.
好，那现在呢，其实你可以再回头去看一看我们这个单元第4课哦，这地方呢，我们曾经讲过怎么样写作这个开头引言段落哦。如果各位同学还不清楚的话呢，记得可以回头去翻一翻。
And so for your second paragraph, you want to write a topic sentence that tells the main idea of the paragraph.
好，那到了第2段的部分，其实也就是你的主体段落了哦。那你接下来呢，当然要写一个主旨句哦，来把这一个主体段落它里面要讲述的主要的概念哦，做一个详细的解释。
Then explain each point that you want to make about your subject.
好，那接着呢，去解释你在这一个段落中所要提到的每一个不一样的这个议题。
And then finally, you can finish with a conclusion if you think it makes your paragraph more clear.
那最后呢，你也可以考虑哦，如果说这会让这个段落看起来更清楚的话，你可以做一个暂时的结尾。
And as an example, let's assume that we're still writing about Toyotas and Nissans.
好，我们举例来讲哦，我们还是以刚刚的这2台车 Toyota 跟 Nissan 来做一个例子。
And so in our second paragraph, we'll only write about Toyotas.
好像在第2个段落里面呢，哦，这个所谓的第1个主体段落里面，我们就会只写1台车，也就是只写 Toyotas。
And so after we write about our topic sentence, our first point will be about the quality of Toyota. The second point will be about the comfort of a Toyota, and the third point will be about the cost of a Toyota.
好，那所以呢，我们会在这个主旨句之后呢，哦，也许我们就讨论3个关于这台车的议题，包括它的品质、它的舒适度还有它的价格。
Right, and then you should organize your third paragraph in the same way that you organize the second paragraph, but we'll talk more about this after we take a break.
好，那接下来你的下一个段落呢，你也是一样哦，用同样的方式，一模一样的议题去讲述另外一台车，另外一个比较的物品。不过呢，我们会先休息一下，回来之后呢，我们再继续仔细的为各位同学做讲解。
Welcome back. Let's continue now with our information about the block method of a comparison contrast paper.
好，欢迎各位同学回来。我们休息之前呢，正在讲的是这个整体性的比较的一个比较方式。那我们接下来就继续为各位同学做讲解。
And here we are. We're working on paragraph 3, and this is going to be about Nissan.
好，那我们刚刚呢，在第一个主体段落，也就是所谓整篇文章的第二段，已经讲完了 Toyota 的一些特色。那接下来呢，在第二个主体段落，也就是整篇文章的第3段，我们要讲的是 Nissan 这台车。
And we're just going to follow the same order that we had for the Nissan paragraph, which is just quality, comfort, and cost as our 3 points.
好，那我们写作方式也是一模一样的，我们就讲述的是它的品质、它的舒适性以及它的价格。
And now we're going to go on and we're going to talk about what kind of strategy we can use for a concluding paragraph.
接下来呢，我们来讲的是我们要怎么样呢？在写作这个结尾段落的部分要有什么样的策略？
And so, for example, in our concluding paragraph, we're just going to briefly review the main points of the essay.
好，那我们当然呢，在这结尾段落的部分就简短回顾一下文章中的重点。
And you can review more information about writing a concluding paragraph in Unit 6 of this textbook.
好，那当然，各位同学如果已经忘记怎么样写结尾了，请回头到课本的第6课，好好的再学习一下哦。
All right, so now that we've gone over the block method, let's talk about the point-by-point method.
好，我们接下来下一步呢，也就是点对点的比较方式了。
And in the point-by-point method, your essay will have one paragraph for each of the points that you want to make about your 2 topics.
好，那在这个点对点的比较的文章里面呢，主体论述里面每一个段落都会从不一样的一个角度、不一样的议题来谈论每一个物品。
And so, for example, suppose we're going to go back to comparing the Nissans and the Toyotas, and we had 3 points that we covered earlier in the block method, and these are the comfort, the quality, and the cost of these 2 cars. And so this means that in the body of your point-by-point paper, we're also going to have 3 paragraphs, one for each of these points.
好，那我们一样呢，用刚刚的2台车来做一个比较哦。刚刚在整体性的这个写作方式里面呢，我们比较了3样东西，包括呢这2台车它各自的品质、它的舒适度，还有它的价格。那在这点对点的写作方式里面也是一样，我们会有3个主体段落，每一个主体段落分别就是讲述其中一项这个议题。
Now let's talk about the advantage of the point-by-point method. And so the key advantage is that you can show a really strong contrast between the 2 subjects. You can show a strong contrast between the Toyota and the Nissan in each of the points that you make.
好，那这种点对点的比较方式呢，它有一个非常强烈的优点哦，也就是它一开始呢，你就可以看得很清楚2样比较的物品之间它的差异性或是相似性。举例来讲，你马上就可以很清楚的知道 Toyota 跟 Nissan 针对某一个议题是相似还是相异的。
Now, the disadvantage of the point-by-point method is that your paper can get confusing if you don't have a lot to say about each of your points, and then you keep jumping back and forth between these 2 between the 2 items or the 2 subjects you're discussing.
好，但是缺点呢，可能会是假设你比较的这个议题呢太小了，你没有什么东西可以讲哦，那你会造成你的读者在阅读的时候一直觉得你好像跳来跳去，一下讲 Toyota， 一下讲 Nissan， 然后会让你的读者读得非常的混乱。
All right, so now let's take a closer look at organizing a point-by-point paper.
好，我们现在更仔细的来看一看点对点的对比论说文的写作方式。
And so the first thing again is to choose a strategy for your introductory paragraph.
好，那首先也是一样的，我们来选择一个好的策略来写开头引言段落。
And so we're organizing it the same way that we organize the block paper. And once again, you can review the introductory paragraphs in Unit 4.
好，那这部分呢，我们就遵照上一个刚刚整体性的这写作方式是一样的哦。开头先概括性的论述，然后表明主旨。哦，那这部分一样，可以回头看一下单元第4。
All right, so now for our second paragraph, and this is going to be the first paragraph in the body, we're going to start by writing a topic sentence that tells the main idea of the paragraph.
好，那整篇文章的这个第2段，也就是第1个主体段落呢，我们要先来讨论的是第1个论点。
And then we're going to explain how topic A and then how subject B compare or contrast on the point that we're discussing in this paragraph.
好，那我们会根据第一个这个重点呢，来讨论两件物品之间它们之间的相同跟相异的部分。
And so then finally, we can end this paragraph with a conclusion if you think that will make your paragraph clearer.
好，那一样呢，我们可以在这个段落里面呢做一个结尾哦。假设你觉得这样的方式会让段落看起来更清楚的话，就每一个段落加一个小的结尾也是无妨的。
And then one thing that you should remember about this paragraph is that you should give equal weight or give equal space to subject A and subject B.
好，那有个地方要请各位同学注意一下哦。为了不表示偏颇呢，在这个段落里面，你谈论这两件物品的这篇幅呢，应该要差不多的长短才行。
Right, and so we'll give you an example here, and so we can see that if we're writing about the cars, the topic sentence could be about the quality of the car, and then this is followed by talking about the quality of Toyotas, and then followed by talking about the quality of Nissans.
好，那我们举例来讲，第一个议题我们讨论的是它的品质。那我们可以先讨论 Toyota 的品质，接着写 Nissan 的品质，最后呢可能会有一个结尾。
Right, as we go on to our third paragraph, we're going to hit a different topic here. And so this paragraph can concentrate on the comfort of the Toyota versus the Nissan.
好，那我们在文章的第三段，也就是第二个主体段落，我们可能会讨论舒适性。那一样，我们分别讨论这个 Toyota 跟 Nissan 的舒适度。
And you can see here we're going to have an equal amount of space devoted to the comfort of the Toyota versus the comfort of the Nissan.
那一样提醒各位同学，两个的讨论篇幅应该要差不多才行。
Right, and then as we go on to the next paragraph, this is going to be the fourth paragraph. This is going to focus on cost. And you can see it's organized the same way as the second and third body paragraph.
好，我们到了所谓的整篇文章的第四段，也就是第三个主体段落的部分。我们讲到的是第三个论点，也就是它价格的部分。那你可以看得到，它的整个段落的架构方式跟前两个主体段落是一模一样的。
All right, and so then as we finish up the entire point-by-point essay, we're going to have another concluding paragraph.
好，那当我们把这所有的主体段落都讲述完之后呢，接下来我们就要开始选择我们的结尾段落的这个写作方式了。
And so for this concluding paragraph, you're just going to review some of the main points of your essay, and you're going to make sure that you show how your thesis statement is true.
好，那一样呢，利用结尾的时候呢，简短的回顾一下这篇文章中的重点，并且呢，去验证一下你的主旨。
And then once again, you can review information about writing a concluding paragraph in Unit 6 of your textbook.
好，那一样，各位同学，如果对于写作结尾的部分的这个策略有一些疑问的话呢，请回头看一下课本的第6章。
All right, we're going to take one more break right now. We'll be back momentarily with more information for you about writing comparison contrast papers.
好，我们现在先休息一下，待会儿回来我们会为各位同学提供更多关于写作对比论说文的一些资讯。
Welcome back. We're going to take some time in this section to show you the writing models, to show you actually writing models of comparison contrast papers. But before we do that, we're going to talk about the topic of those writing models, which is about men and women.
好，欢迎各位同学回来。我们接下来的时间呢，会为各位同学讲解一下这个单元的写作范例。那在我们进到写作范例的这个翻译之前呢，首先我们先花一点时间来看一下这个单元的一个主题，也就是男生跟女生的一个比较。
And to show you some of our ideas about the difference between men and women, we're going to show you a little bit of a video, or a small video.
好，那为了要让各位同学更清楚地了解男性跟女性的差异哦，我们先来看一段非常短的短片。
Oh! I can't believe he missed that basket. What an idiot.
He totally stinks.
That's so sad.
He must feel terrible.
I hope no one read any mean letters to him.
Think of how his children will feel.
Oh, I can make that shot any day of the week. I can make that shot 10 times in a row.
And I can make it 20 times. Hey, let's order some food. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I can eat a whole bucket of chicken.
I can eat the whole pizza all by myself.
Let's call Anna and Wendy. Maybe they haven't had dinner yet.
That's great. It will be so nice to have them join us.
All right, From this video, you saw that the way the men and women were acting was completely different. And so, for example, the men were more critical when they were watching the basketball game, while the women were more compassionate about how the players played.
好，我们从这段影片中，我们可以发现，男生跟女生对于同样的事情的反应真的很不一样哦。你可以看到男生呢，在看比赛的时候，表现是非常的这个有攻击性的哦，他们都会去批评；但女生呢，却好像具备比较多的同情心哦。
And in addition, the men were more competitive when they were talking about the food that they could eat, while the women were much more cooperative in trying to plan out the dinner.
好，那除此之外呢，你可以发现男生们连谈论要吃什么食物都非常具有竞争心哦。那女生呢，则是比较喜欢大家一起是具备这样子的一个合作性的。
And so we can take some of the ideas that we saw in this video and craft them into an outline for a paper that's about the differences between men and women.
好，那光是从这段影片中，我们就可以得到一些想法了。那我们把这些想法集结起来呢，我们就可以写作成我们的短文了。
And in our outline, we're going to focus on three major areas: physical differences, emotional differences, and mental differences.
好，那在我们这个接下来要讲的这个大纲里面呢，我们可以有3个主要的一个特色来讨论哦。第一个呢，也就是他们的这个外形上面的差异性，还有呢，第二个是讨论他们在情绪上的差异性，以及最后在心理上的差异性。
Now, in terms of physical differences, men are stronger and faster than women.
好，那首先在生理上的差异性呢，男生呢当然就是比较强壮，而且呢一般动作比起女生来得快。
And emotionally, our idea is that men are more competitive while women can cooperate better.
好，那在情绪上呢，我们知道男生呢是比较容易会比较有竞争心的，那女生呢是比较喜欢互相合作的。
And then mentally, we can say that men are often more analytical in their thinking while women are more intuitive.
好，那我们说在心理上呢，男性通常会比较具有这个批判性跟分析性，那女生呢是比较的出自于她的这直觉的。
Now let's take a look at our outline.
好，我们现在先来看一下我们这个大纲的部分。
Now we can see that both of these outlines are going to start out with the same introduction, which focuses on the following thesis, that men and women have many differences.
好，你会发现呢，无论我们选择用哪一种方式来写作哦，但是它的这个开头的部分呢是都一样的，我们都用同样的句子作为开始，也就是男生跟女生有许多的不同。
And then in our block outline, we're going to have a paragraph that focuses completely on men.
好，在整体性的这种写作方式里面呢，我们会把第一整个主体段落都用来专注在谈论男性的部分。
And you can see it covers the physical, emotional, and mental qualities of men.
好，你会发现呢，包括我们刚刚讲到的生理、情绪跟心理上3个方面呢，都会在这个段落中去提到。
And then as we go down, the next body paragraph is all about women, and we can see it also covers the physical, emotional, and mental qualities of women.
好，那到了第2个主体段落呢，一样你也看到3样东西哦。这3样就是刚刚我们在前面也提到的，它的生理、情绪跟心理上面都有提到了关于女性的部分。
And now, on the other hand, when we look at the point-by-point essay, we can see the introductory paragraph is followed by a paragraph that focuses on the physical differences between men and women.
好，但是如果我们以点对点的方式来写作呢，你会发现我们的第一个这主体段落，我们讲是把它 focus 把这重点呢放在讲生理的部分。那男跟女我们都做了一番比较。
And this is followed by a paragraph that focuses on the emotional comparison between men and women.
好，那第2个主体段落，我们则从情绪的部分来讲男跟女的差异。
And then finally, a paragraph that focuses on the mental differences between men and women.
好，那第3个主体段落呢，则是从心理的层面呢来谈论男生跟女生的差异。
And then finally, both of these, the block and the point-by-point essay, are going to end with a conclusion that covers the same issues.
好，但是到了结尾的部分呢，其实还是一样的，讲述的内容也是差不多的。
Now let's take a look at our writing models together.
好，那现在呢，我们就可以把时间花在看一看我们的写作范例了。
If you compare men, women, and apes, you will certainly decide that men and women have much more in common than humans and apes. But I believe that men and women still have many differences.
如果将男人、女人、猩猩拿来做比较，你会确定男人与女人之间的相似度比人类和猩猩来得高。但我相信男人跟女人之间能有许多的不同。
From what I have seen, men are physically and mentally different from women.
据我所知，无论是身体上或是精神上，男人跟女人都有所差异。
Men excel in athletics that require speed and power. Men hold the world records for sprinting and weightlifting, for example.
男人擅长需要速度及力量的运动，像是短跑及举重的世界纪录就是一个好的例子。
Men are also extremely competitive. When my male friends get together, they will constantly try to outdo each other. Winning a game or contest is very important to my buddies.
而且男人也很好斗。当我的男性友人聚在一块时，他们会试着想要胜过其他人。对于我的伙伴们赢得一场比赛或是游戏是非常重要的。
Finally, I believe men think more analytically than women. When my friends and I are making a decision about what to do on the weekend, we sit down and brainstorm our options and list the pros and cons of each choice. We only decide after carefully judging all the facts.
最后，我相信男人的想法比女人来的具备一些分析性。当我跟我的朋友在决定周末要做什么时，我们会坐下来动脑，并且分析每一个选择的优点跟缺点，在深思熟虑之后再做决定。
However, women are very different from men physically and mentally.
然而，女人在身体上跟精神上都和男人有所不同。
An average woman isn't as strong or fast as the average man, but women can match men in sports that require endurance and are often more flexible than men.
平均来说，女人并不比男人来得有力跟快速，但是在需要耐力的比赛中，女人可以和男人比拼，而且比较容易去适应这个比赛。
For example, a woman holds the world record for many long-distance swimming events.
举例来讲，女生保有许多世界长泳的记录。
I also feel that women are less competitive than men. When they are involved in an activity, they can have a good time if they just participate in an activity with their friends.
我也觉得女人比起男人并不这么好争斗。当他们跟他朋友一起参加一项活动的时候，他们可以有一个愉快的经验，而不是互相争执。
Finally, women can rely on intuition more than men. When I hear my female friends talk, I think they often make judgments on a gut feeling for what is best.
最后，女人依据直觉的次数比男人来得多。当我听到我的女性友人在谈话时，我想她们常常只是用感觉来判断哪一个是比较好的选择。
After thousands of years of evolution, there must be some useful reason for all these differences between men and women.
经过千百年来的演化，男人跟女人之间的不同绝对不是偶然的。
Maybe these differences made the man a better hunter and leader, and the woman a better teacher and caregiver.
这也就是为什么男人可能会是一个好的猎人或是一个好的领袖，而女人会是好的老师或是好的看护。
All right, so now let's take a look at the point-by-point comparison.
好，我们现在呢来看看同样的主题，如果我们用点对点的比较方式，会写成什么样呢？
And so you can see the first paragraph is the same, so we'll jump on to the first body paragraph.
好，那第一个开头引言段落呢，其实跟刚刚整体性的是一模一样的，我们就直接跳到这个主体段落的部分。
First of all, from what I have seen, men are more powerful athletes than women. The average man can run faster, jump higher, throw farther, and carry more than the average women.
就我所知，第一点，男人比女人在运动上更有力量。就平均值而言，男生跑得比较快，跳得比较高，丢得比较远，而且能搬的东西也比较多。
However, women can often match men in sports that require endurance, and they often have more flexibility than men.
然而，在耐力赛上，女人和男人不相上下，而且女人还比男人更具备适应性。
Second, I believe that men are usually more competitive than women. My male friends can really care about whether they win or lose a contest.
第二，我相信男人比女人好争斗。我的男性友人很在乎他们是否赢了比赛。
And so we're going to stop right here because we're running out of time, but you can see the rest of the essay inside your textbook.
好，那当然，我们在这个地方先做暂停哦。各位同学呢，可以继续的在我这课本中把这所有的内容做一个结束。
All right, so thanks for joining us this week for English composition. We'll be back again in another week.
谢谢各位同学今天的参与，我们下个礼拜再见。